This is Daryl Bensinger from D&L Bensinger. Today we're going to put a complete top enclosure on a World War II Jeep. First of all, we're going to go over a little bit about what Jeep we're working with. This particular Jeep we built to go to the 75th anniversary D-Day events coming up this year. So although it is a World War II Jeep, we have made a few custom changes. We're running with the 4-cylinder flathead engine, which is an original style engine, but we're using a CJ engine. We're also using 12-volt system. We're using an alternator rather than the generator on the engine itself. We have also done some customizing for our use in the driving compartment. Again, as I mentioned, we have a 12-volt system. We also added turn signals. We have added a heater, and we have added charging units to charge our batteries and such that we're going to be on the road with, phones and things like that. Also, for ease and convenience, we're using a T90 transmission rather than a T84, which is a little bit harder, a little bit heavier duty. We've also included some safety procedures for locking the transmission. We've included some locking storage boxes to keep things in. We have included canvas pouches to carry some more specialty equipment. We also have a custom canvas pouch underneath the seat, since we're not going to be wrapping the top up and putting it there. We have seat belts for our own safety. We also have made a pack board where we will tie down and pack various supplies. And we're also using 12-volt wipers. We have a custom street ride mirror, which is wide angle view. And yes, we have installed the rifle rack upside down. We are not taking any guns to Europe. So we will use this to put radios or sunglasses or whatever as a storage shelf. So yeah, I do know it's upside down. Please don't write me that I put it on upside down. That's the kind of custom work we've done. The one thing you may not be able to see here is that this entire Jeep is 4 inches longer than a regular Jeep. Right in this area, we have the body and the frame 4 inches longer to make it more comfortable to sit behind for someone as tall and heavy as I am. We're also using 716 tires instead of 616 tires. And those are some of the features that we put on this Jeep to make it more comfortable to use. We're going to be driving it for over 9 days while we're over in France. So the next thing to go along with our heater is going to be the installation of a complete enclosure. Along the same line, this complete enclosure is not a showable or judgeable enclosure like regular. You'll see once we get started, it has nice large windows in it you can see out of, not like the originals with the little small peepholes you could hardly look out of. So it's a nice top made by Allied Fortress Canvas in the UK, and we're going to get ready to start putting that on. The first thing in mounting this top is to get the correct dimension from your windshield to the back of the panel. And that should be 65.5 inches. Of course, as I said earlier, this is a 4-inch long stretch Jeep. So my trigonometry isn't all that good. I'm not exactly sure what my measurement should be on this particular Jeep, but you need to have that correct on your regular Jeep because reproduction windshields could be bent the wrong way or a little bit not quite fitting. Even original windshields, after 70-some years with a passenger grabbing a hold of the top of the windshield to help get himself in or out of the Jeep, these things can be bent at different angles that are wrong, one way or the other, too far out, too far back. So that measurement is the starting point. In this case, since I've already had a custom body, I'm kind of going to have to start to wing it a little bit and start doing some installation and then see how I'm out of line. I may have to modify this windshield. So we'll get ready to start putting on some parts. Okay, we're going to start by putting the hinge panel onto the Jeep. The way it's designed is to go through the windshield. Up here we've got brackets that we're going to be attaching to the top of the windshield. And down here, it's nicely set up that it takes the existing hole for the doorway safety strap and bolts the angle iron behind that. So we're going to start out by mounting these two parts. So one thing we've run into already with the reproduction body, with our top clamp up here, our inner windshield frame is interfering a little bit here. So I'm actually going to have to take my inner windshield frame out and file that down a little bit so we get a little more clearance up here where that hinge comes close. The T-rubber has plenty of room to cover the seam, so there's going to be a little bit of handiwork there to make that fit properly. Our next step now is going to be to go ahead and put the top on lightly to just see how we're doing. So to get started on that, we're going to remove the jerry can and the spare tire. Okay, now slide it back and up. Now put your hand here.
Wait.
Your hand on it and we'll scratch your body. Now. Alright. Put a couple turns on that. Now we're going to put the front bow down. Alright, we're going to be on steady canvas. So you want to. We're going to go up over the bow, right here in this pocket, go there and that bow. Okay. Then we've got to move to the front. Takes a lot of pulling. Yeah. Our next step is going to be to install the curtains, and the curtain has a hook on the inside to catch the body here, it has a flap to go down the inside of the body, and it has a hole here to go over the bow P bracket. So it slips over the P bracket, drops down like that, and then we have to go along and attach all these snaps. Center one goes around the bow. In addition to the bow snapping up here on around the canvas, there's also a nice rain gutter here where it snaps on the inside around the bows there and goes down the inside of the body there. Curtain corner strap we've got running through the loop and up into the top strap, and the original top strap we have just folded in underneath, because we're not using that. And although it gave us a little bit of trouble with our radio antenna mount, it still works pretty reasonably with the MP50 mount. Our next step is going to be to take the rod that goes above the door. You'll see we have hardware on both the door hinge in the front and the curtain. Both these have wing nuts on the inside, so we're going to put this through here, put it over the wing nut. Okay, with our metal bar in here attached to both the rear and the front, we pull our canvas over, and that gives us our door frame opening. Our next step is going to be to fit the doors. Let's see how that works. We've got two barrels welded in the frame, and we got two hinge pins inside the front section that we put on. Get that started. Okay, there's the top one, there's the bottom one. Now, that closed. We've got a snap here, top and bottom, to seal that up. And that looks pretty darn nice. Pull this right down here. Nice big windows to see out of and use it, and out of the weather. So there's a nice, well enclosed top for bad cold weather. Since we've had the heater, I think we'll be in good shape when we're running around France. The only thing you have to ask next is, when it's a nice day, what are you going to do with all that curtain and door when it's a nice day? And the answer to that is right here. A storage bag that straps onto the hood, and you put your curtains and doors in the storage bag if you want to keep them with you, but run without them because the weather's nice. The other nice feature of this design is that we've really not added anything to the Jeep. As you saw, we used the doorway safety strap attachment. The curtains made to go to the P bracket. The back curtains are made to go around the straps. There's only one additional thing to add, and right on this flap here, to keep wind from blowing in here, was one snap provided. So we'll drill a hole and pop right one snap fixture there to hold that piece of canvas in there, and that's the only thing we have to add to the body of the Jeep. So it makes a nice clean looking job in the end. Okay, we now have our inner windshield frame back in. We had some issues with it not fitting. The hinge up here for the door was interfering. The inner windshield frame was too big. So we had opened it all the way up, and being it's a reproduction body, when we had the inner windshield frame completely opened up, it actually came out of the hinge up there, and we just let it down and went on without it. We then ended up having to just grind a little bit. This top rail of the inner extended a little too far out, and we just grabbed like 1/8 of an inch off each side. That worked out fine as far as the fit working. Then the only other problem we had was, again, it's a reproduction body, so we actually tried to snap that hinge back in the same way it came out by holding the inner completely horizontal and trying to hook the hinge. And we tried that till we were so frustrated we couldn't do it. Then we decided we'll put it in the correct way. As you know, over here on this side of the windshield frame, the outer's got a divot in it, so you can slide the inner all the way through from this side. So we decided that's how we're going to put it in, and that worked beautifully, with the exception of, as you recall, I have put electric wiper motors, an interior mirror, and those kind of non-original features on, and by doing that, we had to strip all that back off again in order to slide the inner frame in. And the inner frame slid in fine. It's just that it took all that extra labor to take that stuff back off again and put it back on. So it actually took darn near as much time to put the inner back in as it did to put the whole top on. So it's not really a problem if you think ahead and know what you're doing there. But we had to kind of take a few steps back and then put the inner in. So now we got the inner in. The vehicle is ready to go. We got top completely mounted. Now we just need some cold weather to try it out. So that's our complete installation at D&L Bensters of a complete kit, doors, side curtains, complete enclosure kit on a World War II Jeep. So remember, safety is your responsibility, and that's the end of the job.